We are live, R&R at the mansion. We're live from the mansion. I am your host, Reagan Starner. Welcome to the R&R cast. We're real excited to have you here, as you can tell. It's festive. I got the R&R shirt. We got it all. We're here. We've got a hell of a show lined up for you guys. I mean, a hell of a show. We have Joe Gaither from Tide 100.9. We've got Alphonse Taylor, former starting right guard. Maybe Derrick Henry doesn't have his Heisman if it's not for Alphonse Taylor blocking. I don't know. We're going to ask him later. And then the creme de la creme, the coup de grace, coup de grace as it's called. But we've got it all. But the final one, the best guest of the night, what I am so looking forward to are there. We've got one of them here, but they are the directors and writers of the FATMAN movie that me and Devin we just finished watching. Ian and Esham, did I say that right? Esham?
No, nailed it.
Okay, all right. So they are the Nelms brothers. You've heard of some famous brothers, the Russo brothers, the Wachowski used to be brothers, now they're the Wachowski sisters. But these two guys have just come out with this amazing movie called FATMAN. It's an awesome take on Santa Claus in a way that you've never seen Santa before. I mean, Swole Santa, it's Swole Saint Nick, right? That's what we've got here for.
Yeah, I mean, he's Kris Kringle in the flesh.
Yeah, and he works out. He works out and shoots guns and smokes cigars.
Yeah, he's got some good forearms, you know?
Yeah, he's an American hero.
I mean, that was kind of the fun we were having with that title, FATMAN, is that, I mean, look, the whole movie is kind of like your what you've perceived Santa to be and what he really is in the universe that we've created. And that was one of the things as well, is, you know, he's got that, like, Santa has that derogatory moniker of Fat Man, which we thought was great because, you know, we were going to play with that as well. And even though Mel's not, you know, a heavy guy, he put on a little paunch for us, but it was just perfectly enough. You know, he's not like ripped right out of the gym, which is what we were hoping he wouldn't be.
Yeah, but it's awesome. And so you two are brothers. How did you guys get into show business? Because I was looking at it. Ian, you went to school on a wrestling scholarship, is what I saw.
Yeah.
And so you went from wrestling to directing. You guys have had a couple movies that have actually won awards, and FATMAN just won an award.
A lot of people don't know, but wrestling is actually an excellent entry into the. No, I'm kidding.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have guessed you go from wrestling to.
I would say wrestling's an excellent entry into life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So how did you get in? You go from wrestling and an English degree, and how do you guys get into movie making?
So Esham went to college on an art scholarship, full ride on to Kansas City Art Institute for painting and charcoal and illustration and drawing, and I mean, he was just really talented. I went to Cal State Bakersfield on a wrestling scholarship, and yeah, man, we were in different states at the time, and I remember we grew up watching a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And our parents were professional photographers, so it was kind of in our blood, and in our veins. But you know, it was not a career where we lived. We lived in the Central Valley, which is more agriculture and dairy farms and blue collar, very blue collar lifestyle there. A lot of hardworking people. So it was like, okay, I'm going to go be a teacher. I'm going to go be a wrestling coach, or I'm going to go be, I guess Ash was sort of the most outside of the box was I'm going to be an artist.
Yeah.
But he was also working on his professional paintball career at the time.
Hey.
Which was hard to give up.
Yeah, some dreams never die, pal.
Well, you know, and that one never came to fruition. But you know, I still have a passion for the game.
Hey,
he still plays. He still got teams he plays on.
We have a lot of paintball down here in Alabama. So if you're ever in Alabama looking for, we got the mansion here. So if you ever need like, a cigar mansion to shoot at, you just holler. We're here. We got all the cigars. We got you guys. So you guys, you're brothers, you work together. How cool is it to be making movies with your brother?
It's pretty great. Yeah, I mean, I think over the years, Ian and I have become more and more dysfunctionally codependent in this process. But we're blessed in that we get along, and I think we have a true admiration for the other one's opinion. So, go ahead.
I was going to say, which helps because we're not ready to throttle each other every 5 seconds. If somebody says something, we're like, okay, we consider that. And then usually it's like when we're writing or something, we bat the idea back and forth and we develop it to a certain point. One of us runs off and writes it. And then, we don't stop until both of us really like what we have down. And that's kind of how the process works all the way through shooting and editing as well.
Yeah. And I remember, Ian's a serious man on the wrestling match. So now it's all about diplomacy. We don't have any sort of physical altercations at all. Let's talk it out.
Good. So you would take if you guys got into a disagreement about, like, say, the way a scene should go, he wins because he would beat you wrestling? Is that
look, I think
agreements on ideas?
The most passionate one usually wins.
It never goes to fisticuffs, thank goodness. But it does go down to that. We either both like it, or if we're in a disagreement, if we're a standoff, which rarely happens, maybe 1% of the time on something. We will go to, okay, this person really sees it and has a vision for it and is passionate about it. And then you say, okay, well, hey, you've got it. Like, great, let's do that. And usually it's like a line or a moment or a shot, an angle or something like that. And it's like, okay, well, if you believe in it, and I'll be damned if, like, every time we're screening it, somebody doesn't come up and say, man, that one line or that one shot or that whatever, like, it's always that person, whatever it was that person was really passionate about, usually sticks out in a very positive way. I don't think we've had one go the opposite way yet, but usually it pokes out in a positive way, and people comment on it about how much it improved something or was great or that they really loved that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And now, Reagan, you're at a mansion, and obviously this is like you got like a cigar. You have like a cigar empire.
Yeah, we're the cigar mansion in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We converted a 1903 house into an actual cigar shop. So we have a full bar, beer, wine, liquor, and we sell cigars. We sell alcohol. I watch movies. I watched FATMAN for the first time at the mansion.
Badass.
Yeah, and I mean, it was our Thanksgiving thing. That's what we did on Thanksgiving because it came out. I had been stoked about this movie since I saw a preview for it, I think over the summer, and I was like, Mel Gibson as a gun, as a he's got cigars, he's got guns. Like, this is the Santa that I didn't grow up with, but I wish I had grown up with, and so I've been stoked about this movie forever. And then I saw it came out, and I said, Dad, so R&R's for Randy and Reagan, so that was why I was getting in the family thing, because this is R&R's me and my dad.
Cool.
And so we don't settle things with wrestling like you guys do. We call him Boom Boom, so he's a little older, but we all, me and my wife and my dad and one of my employees, we watched it on Thanksgiving Day, and it was awesome. It was such an awesome, just a wild movie from start to finish.
Yeah,
and I think that you guys did a hell of a job on it.
Oh, thank you, brother. Yeah. Now, wait, do you guys make your own branded cigars?
Yeah, we do actually. Yeah, we have two currently. The plan is for us to have I'd like to have about 4 more. So we'll have it go all the way from like mild all the way to full body.
Wow.
But yeah, that's the goal long term. But then we just opened up a new shop about 3 weeks ago across town. So now we have the Cigar Mansion and we have the Annex, and really excited about both of them.
Man, and it's such a deep dive into cigars. Like, there's so much nuance and stuff in them, and it's like almost feels like endless. I know Mel, has a big affection for cigars, although right now I know he's abstaining, but he really does have a deep-seated love for cigars.
Yeah. To me, it's just it's a great thing. It was a thing for me and my dad when I was going through, he's like, how you go from a wrestling scholarship to being a director of the best Christmas movie I've ever seen. And I like when I was in law school, I went from law school to opening a cigar bar. So people ask me, go figure. I can understand. You go for English degree and you end up making a movie. I didn't do it. I've never done a movie like you guys. But it's but cigars were what brought me and my dad closer together whenever I'd see him, because they would come up and visit me when I was in school. And it was really great for us because we would get to spend, an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours where it was just us. And this was before the smartphones. And so we would just literally sit there and we would talk, Yeah. So me and my dad, we would sit there and talk. My mom would be there, sometimes. And then it became a thing where like people would want to come and hang out with me and my dad and smoke cigars with us because, when you're 19 years old, 20 years old, and somebody saying, "Oh yeah, we got some free cigars for you," people are like, "Oh hell yeah, I smoke cigars."
Yeah.
So
next thing you know, they're feeling a little green though.
Yeah, they're not enjoying it. But it's just such a cool thing, and I'm really blessed to be able to do what I do, and I'm really excited about it. But all right, so let's go back to you guys though. So how did you guys come up with this version of Santa Claus? Because this is like the most crazy, awesome version of Santa Claus I've ever seen in my life. So how did you guys because you got a lot going on there with Mel Gibson's Santa Claus. How did you guys come up with this character?
Well, I think, look, it just came from Ian and I love things that we haven't seen before. So that's always what we're kind of heading for. Like, oh, have we seen this path? Well, let's take a right here and explore something new. And for us, there felt like there was room in the Christmas genre, right? So we'd seen the Tim Allen family-friendly version and enjoyed it, and then we've seen the sociopath that comes down your chimney and hacks you up. And we were like, well, what's the Santa Claus that we could have plucked right out of the Central Valley, California agricultural farm community? That's where we grew up. And plopped him down in the middle of Alaska and given him some sort of like idiosyncrasies and foibles and made him like an everyman. And so that's what really excited us, was to take this sort of fantastical character and make him, an everyman with problems that we could all relate to.
And like when we were attacking it, it was questions like, okay, he has this ability to read people's minds. Like, okay, what does that really look like? Like, he couldn't obviously have 3 billion people in his head all the time. He'd be schizophrenic. So it's like, okay, he would have to, like, if he looked at somebody, he'd be able to get like an instant download and then be like, oh, it's John and he's been good this year and now he's sleeping, so I'm going to deliver these presents to his house. Or he goes to his house and he has Billy in his mind and he's like, okay, this kid's been naughty, he gets coal. Or, so he doesn't know what's happening with everybody all the time, but if he starts to think about you or he focuses on you, then he can get a download of you, which is pretty much how we thought of it. And then it was like, okay, well, what about the elves? Like, what do we do down there? Like, what would be a reality? And we just had to sort of build it one block at a time, one brick at a time of like how that would really work,
Yeah, I remember we were thinking about, well, where would he be, right? And since we are Americans and have an American perspective, we're like, well, I imagine that America could have made a pretty good pitch, like, hey, Chris, like, come on over. You can park in Alaska. We've got the post office. We've got all this infrastructure. Like, we're going to support you. And then obviously
you can be out in the middle of nowhere, so yet close enough to a town to get groceries if you need them. So we were putting all this stuff into our head of like how this would actually work and how. But we were like, if he's going to be able to like make things, out of the kindness of his heart, he's going to have to, in reality, have some money. He's going to have something flowing. And the way we were thinking of it is like, like Esh said, I think America can give you a pretty good pitch. There's other countries, but we live in America, so we know that best. So it was like, okay. Well, I think America would probably give him a pitch and say, "Hey, like if you come, and work in our country, we can fund you, and you can be benevolent, and you can just do your thing and hide over here. And of course, we're going to give you a subsidy, and you're going to get to build all this stuff and live and just do what you do, and we'll pay for that. And we'll obviously they end up constructing an entire holiday, which is a $3 trillion worldwide, giant." Stimulus for the world, but and that's great. And then when he gets tits up, a couple hundred years later, like he's just screwed. So they have a bottom line. They gotta meet their numbers, and he's in the middle of that. So they're pinching him at this point.
I love that aspect of Santa as basically a business owner. Because, being a business owner, I loved it because it was like I mean, especially with the way that it was like, okay, like the movie was timed really well because with all, I mean, it came out when a lot of business owners are feeling kind of like how Santa has feeling in your movie, with it's like, okay, how are we going to make ends meet? How are we going to pay off? Mrs. Claus, who was great, says this, like this check that you got, this isn't even going to cover the power bill.
Yeah.
And I loved that take on Santa because it was like he was going through. You always think of Santa as as this, huge figure, and he doesn't have to really go through real world problems a lot. But Santa's actually having to go through real world problems, like how am I going to do Christmas this year? And I thought that was just such a cool take that you guys put him as a business owner going through it, because that's kind of how it's been for a lot of people. I mean, even us during the whole pandemic, and so you guys finished filming it and before COVID was even going on, right?
Well, so two things. Like, I think that the reason that it attracts us to make Kris Kringle a business owner is that Ian and I come from working class parents. Like, our mom and dad owned a small business.
Yeah.
And so we drew upon a lot of what we saw with their problems, right?
You've got this dynamic between our parents, and it's like they're struggling business owners. They've got an independent business. They're photographers. They went through the same woes, of struggling to pay the bills / keep everything going / the government, tax laws aren't really in their favor right now. Okay, how do we, it was all the same problems. And so, and the relationship that our parents had was very similar to the Kris and Ruth relationship as well, as in that our dad was it was his business. He started it. He was the lead photographer, but his bookkeeping and logistics were terrible. And my mom, when they married, she came in and just basically started handling all the logistics of the business and becoming a great photographer in her own right. But she really was the backbone of that business. And then only a few years after she left to become a nurse, he ended up selling the business because he was just like, I'm really tired of running this. Like the logistics of this are just a nightmare, And once my mom wasn't there handling all that, he was like, oh my God, I gotta do something else.
Yeah. And then Reagan, what was the second half of that? I'm sorry.
And then COVID. So this was done. Oh. This was all done before pre-COVID and when you finished shooting before all that happened, right?
So we finished. So COVID was happening as we were shooting. Yeah. So we went up to Canada in November. We prepped. We started shooting in January, and then we finished shooting in March, which is right when everything was coming apart. And so we finished in Canada. Our last day of shooting was the day before they shut every production down in Canada. So by the skin of our teeth, we got out of Canada with the entire movie shot. And then we went, it was crazy. Yeah. And then we went back to LA and edited the whole picture in Ian's basement.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we had it, it was definitely a new mode of operation for us. We do edit the pictures but Ian's basement's a perfectly acceptable place to do it. But there was some certain post-production processes that were a little bit different as we tried to do the sound and the color and the music and all that stuff.
And the test screenings, because now we can't have 5 to 10 people over at a time. You have to send everybody a link and try to get feedback and then try to adjust that. Whereas before we would screen the movie a number of times and just be very dialed in on what we wanted to get out of that feedback. And whereas so you don't have that type of control over the singles that you send out. You're not, we would put everyone in a room and stock food and drink, and if someone had to go to the bathroom, obviously they went, but it was kind of a mini theatrical experience. And then when you send people a link into their house, they could very well be doing 25 things at the same time while they're watching it, and so you can't quite understand all the ramifications of their feedback.
Yeah. I mean, like, I can't imagine. I saw. I'm sure you guys probably saw. I saw Tom Cruise's, meltdown on the set about COVID, and
I did listen to it. Yeah.
I can't imagine. I mean, I know what we have to go through here. But I know everybody's been really affected by it, and I saw that you guys you're going to be with the John Wick production company, making the movie Capture. I saw, and
well, that's a little old. And Capture ultimately was ended up being realized at Quibi, and they retitled it as the Fugitive remake. So that one we won't be working on.
Okay.
There were a couple of things that happened when we went off to go shoot FATMAN, is that a couple of other projects went at the same time, and we sort of had to make a choice. It's like, okay, and that happens a ton. Like, you put a lot of work into these projects, and then one seems like it either stalls out for a second, and then something else picks up speed, like FATMAN, which is pretty much our baby because we wrote it and we wanted to direct it, and we wanted to take that one all the way. So when it popped up, those other ones were cooling, and we said, hey, yes, we want to go do FATMAN. And of course, when you get into pre-production on something, when it rains, it pours. 5 other things that you had interested in started going as well at the same time. So you had to make a choice, and we're like, oh, hey, we've got our 2 feet in on this one, and we're going to take it the rest of the way. If you need to, find another filmmaker or find another avenue, we totally understand. So, it's just how it goes. Sadly, you can do everything.
Yeah.
We still have a great relationship with that company. We still love those guys, and they love us. And I'm sure we'll figure out something with them down the line. They're a great company, great execs over there.
Maybe Walt Goggins' character actually comes from John Wick's universe.
There we go.
You guys get to do like Walt Goggins beats John Wick, and FATMAN comes in somehow. Mel Gibson's FATMAN. I mean, like, I think that that would be. I mean, John Wick's one of my dad's and mine favorite films. This is up there. I loved all your characters in the movie. The Walt Goggins character was great, a total psycho, but which was just like amazing. I mean, he goes, and the kid, the kid. If I had to rate like least favorite kids on the screen, there's Joffrey. He's number one. He'll always be number one for the most hated, and then probably Carl from The Walking Dead, and then the guy in the little kid in FATMAN,
little Billy,
little Billy, man, because he got some coal because he was a bad kid, and it's like, and he's like, oh, I can't understand why I got coal. I just tortured a science project. So I thought the character was awesome. And Mrs. Claus, we found out her name is actually Ruth. That was wild. And I was thinking through it. It was like, I love the way that he did Mrs. Claus too, because especially with what's been going on in the world, having Mrs. Claus be a person of color, I thought that was really cool. And you guys were thinking about that before any of this other stuff was going on. And I thought you guys did a great job with that. I thought she was fantastic.
I mean, that was done for a couple of reasons. I mean, our last couple of films, starting with Waffle Street, we had a very, a cool interracial dynamic in there with Danny Glover and James Lafferty. And we loved that so much that when we went and did Small Town Crime, like we pitched Octavia Spencer, like, hey, what do you think of this dynamic of you being the sister? And we didn't have John Hawkes at the time, but it was definitely this pitch of like, hey, this white guy goes into this sort of reverse Blindside, goes into this black family and really fucks everything up.
He's kind of a screw up, yeah.
Wouldn't that be funny? And she's like, yeah, that is really funny. So we thought that was a really cool way to subvert people's expectations on that one. And then when we were putting this together, we were like, man, like we always had the idea to have a woman of color in the Mrs. Claus role for a couple of reasons. I mean, one, it's the world we want to live in, where we're all sort of colorblind and like not worried about who we're casting and how we're casting and casting the right person.
Yeah.
And on the other side of that, like it was a great way to sort of subvert people's expectations again. I mean, from a lot of the test screenings we did in the beginning with people, they would say, "Oh man, it was crazy because I'm watching it and And, I'm like, who is this woman to him? If he's Santa Claus, like, who is she? Is she like helping him out? And then, and then like a couple scenes later, like, holy shit! If they didn't get it right off the bat, they were like, holy shit, that's Mrs. Claus. That fucking wow, like that's cool. This is really fucking cool. And I didn't get that right off the bat. It took me a scene or two, or people would get it right off the bat and be like, this is fucking awesome, like crazy. But yeah, we've had really great reactions to that. And I mean, Mary Ann was like, it was so hard to find somebody with her skill set. Like we needed somebody that could be like the backbone of the operation, like a complete badass. And because of the ending, she comes out and, does some without spoiling, she's kind of a badass at the end. So you're like, okay, we got to have somebody that can pull that off and be believable. But we also need somebody that has that motherly warmth underneath, so that the compassion that Mrs. Claus character carries with her. And
I personally loved Mrs. Claus because, like, I would hope every woman that's watching this, she got her husband what he really wanted for Christmas, which was a box of cigars. And to me, that was awesome. From the mansion. She got him from the mansion. So. Yeah. Next time, hopefully she gets him from the mansion. What was he? Okay, so can you tell us what cigars they were?
Oh my gosh, I should know this.
We should know this. But
were they Te Amos?
That sounds kind of familiar. It was literally Mel's favorite cigar is what we got. And I believe our props guy did some research and said, these are Mel's favorite. I actually called, or I actually looked around, or I looked it up, or whatever. And he was like, these are his favorite. I got him his favorite cigars.
Yeah, we'd have to ask Tim. I can't recall what they were.
I can't recall what they were, though. We're not cigar guys, sadly.
Yeah,
but
no, that's okay.
You
don't have to be a cigar guy to appreciate them. And that's what
I personally like smoking the occasional cigar. It's not a daily habit for me, but I absolutely do indulge once in a while.
Well, you give me your address. I'll send you a care package out, and we'll get you some mansions.
Gentlemen.
Oh man, yeah.
His cigar habit, man. I love it.
It's all good. I'm happy to do it. All right, just a couple more questions left. What was with the hamster? The hamster, that was wild. That was just another. Yeah, like this guy's a total psychopath, right? And he's killing families in their sleep. And he's, torturing third grade girls for winning a science contest. But he's got this damn hamster that he just carries with him everywhere. Up to the North Pole.
Yeah.
There's a couple things with that hamster. I mean, initially, like, it's the only thing that, so on the surface, or what you kind of get from some of the dialogue in there and who he is, it's like, that's the only thing he's ever had as a pet since he was a kid. And he had a pretty shitty childhood. So it's kind of, he has an emotional, attachment to hamsters. It's the only, I think he tells the woman in the pet shop, it's the only thing I've ever had since I was a kid. I had hamsters. And she keeps trying to tell him that he's a snake person, and he keeps trying to deny it. And then, you lo and behold realize that one of the reasons he's getting so pissed off at this woman is because she somewhat reminds him of his mother.
Yeah, but also, she didn't listen, and she didn't know when to shut the fuck up. That was great. That was a great line there. That was a great line, by the way. Who wrote that line?
I can't remember. So
that was such a great line, man. I loved that line. We all lost it when he said that.
I mean, it's that. Look, dude. 99% of that line is Walton's delivery, right? Like he
crushes the line. That's his word.
But I think also to Ian's point, like that woman's not wrong. And for us, we always saw Skinny Man as kind of a snake. Like he is if there's an animal exercise for actors, like he is a snake. And so for us, the hamster is his food in a way. He's a predator, and he really enjoys having that little guy there because he knows at any moment he can just devour it.
Right.
And so the woman's on point with her assessment of him, which is why he takes such deep-seated offense.
And that's so like, do you guys, I loved the movie. I thought it was amazing. I hope everybody watching this thing goes and watches Fatman. It's on all the streaming services, and you guys have some other films too, the award winners, The Life on Purpose, and then
Lost on Purpose.
Lost on Purpose.
Yeah.
I like Life on Purpose, though. I do like that title.
That's the sequel. We're coming out with that one next.
Yeah, I think it's good.
And and so, do you guys have anything coming down the pipeline that you're really excited about for your next? Because I can't wait for what's next with you guys. I hope there's a Fatman sequel. I'd love to watch it. I know I'll watch it. You guys have what's coming down next for the Nelms brothers?
So I think first and foremost, we're absolutely kicking around ideas for the sequel of Fatman. I don't know if it'll be what we do next. I think Ian and I would really enjoy bringing our voice and tone and perspective to some different genres.
Mainly, we're not sure if that's going to come next because there's a lot of logistics to still work out about Fatman 2 and people's schedules, and then we've got to write the script, and then and the last thing we want to do is wait 1.5 to 2 years to make our next film. So it's going to be like, okay, like let's make some stuff, let's get the script going, and then try to coordinate everybody's schedule to where it's 1.5 to 2 years out of us actually having it done. So that's what we'll be aiming for with Fatman 2. Whereas in the interim, it's like, okay, we'd love to get one in the middle,
Yeah, and I think if you look at Fatman as like our Mad Max, like we're looking for Fatman, whatever it might be titled to be Beyond our road boy. What was it?
Beyond the Sanadome.
Yeah, Beyond Sanadome. Yes, exactly. Yeah. You're right on step, Reagan.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, you guys, thank you all so much for coming on. I can't wait to see what you guys do next. Really enjoyed our conversations. Again, shoot me your address, and I'll send you out a little care package out with some smokes and some other R&R stuff. And thank you again very much. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, all of that, and hope you're all stay safe. And you guys are in California. Good luck with all the lockdowns, and hopefully that comes to an end soon. And hopefully you guys get to go back to making movies.
Thank you, brother. And we are so gracious and thankful that you allowed us to come on and share this time with you on your show.
Yeah, man. It's great to meet you, Reagan.
Great to meet you. Thank you guys again. When you get another one, we'll get you back on and we'll talk about it, and I can't wait.
Perfect, champion.
Sounds great.
Thanks, man.
All right. Talk to you soon, man.
All right. So we're going to go to we're going to go to Joe Gaither and Alphonse Taylor. We've got Alphonse Taylor starting right guard for the 2015 national championship, right? And then we've got Joe Gaither, host of Title 100.9. We're going to talk Alabama football after. I mean, the Fat Man. I don't know if y'all have seen Fatman yet, but if you haven't seen it, you need to go watch it because it's amazing. It's a great movie. We just had the Nelms brothers on, so now we're going to change gears just like that, and we are going to go to Tide football. There's a big game this weekend. Are you guys excited about it?
Of course. I mean, it's the SEC championship. It's everything that you've kind of built up to. A lot of people didn't think they were going to make it all the way down to championship weekend with COVID-19. So how can you not be excited?
It's been a really exciting season so far. Nice to see a lot of guys have breakthrough seasons this year. I mean, Devontae doing what we knew he could do. Mac Jones stepping on the scene. Big name for himself. Like, come on now. My boy has to have a license for that cannon on other arm. Like, come on now.
Yeah, he does. I hope he does. It is definitely a concealed weapon.
There has to be. Like, is that even allowed on campus? There's got to be against the law. It's like, there's a law against that, right?
Well, he graduated, so he's not on campus anymore.
Hey, but he gets another year eligibility, pal. He can come back next year. He can come back. So
that'd be a sad story for a lot of people, man.
It'd be what, 2 in a row? Yeah.
Oh.
Give it to him next year. So Shank played from 2012 till 16, right?
Right.
So you were there for the national championship and Derrick Henry's Heisman. If you weren't playing right guard, does Derrick Henry win that Heisman?
Honestly, probably does. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. It's undoubtedly somebody would have stepped in and he still would have did what he did. That man was a freak of nature, man. Like, I don't think it's one of those things now that I'm not playing ball anymore and I get to actually sit back and see it from everybody else's perspective. Like, it dawns on me how legendary he was in 2015. Like, he was flipping grown men with stiff arms. Man, like, that's unheard of. And the fact he's still doing it in the NFL today is even more unheard of.
What's going on? I mean, the man had the most carries coming out of high school and college, and now he's just an absolute freak. You know, he's got what, 4 200-yard games this year, I think. Just absolutely feasting on the NFL. It's crazy. So you played for 4 years at the Tide. What's it like playing for Nick Saban?
Oh, man, it could be the best thing in the world or the worst thing in the world. It all depends on how you approach it. He's most definitely a business mindset type person. And so if you show up to that complex and you bullshitting, that'll be the end of you. You won't make it. It'll be an early exit every time. Like, you got to come with a goal in mind and ready to work and just basically take whatever comes with it, man. And so it's really, I know everybody thinks there's like this big secret to playing for Saban, but it's just like, you better have some big nuts and be able to take the shit. That's really all it is. He doesn't hold back at all.
Yeah.
I remember when I was there, like during our stretch lines, he walked through and fuck with everybody. And every now and then he walk up on me and be like, "When that baby due?" Yeah, he'd be like, "When's the baby due?" You know, I was one of the fat guys.
Yeah.
It's all good though.
Well, speaking of the fat guys, how do you think this offensive line stacks up to the offensive line while you were there?
That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one because obviously I want to be biased because that was my line.
I mean, y'all were great. Y'all were great.
Yeah, but I think the difference about this one is, see, our line, we had Ryan Kelly, Cam Robinson, 2 first-rounders. I think this whole offensive line could go first round. Like, they're really that good. And if you just sit back and watch each one of them, they be getting in people's ass, man. It's just like, they physical, they nasty. Landon Dickinson is one of the nastiest, dirtiest people I've ever seen on the field. Like, the things he does to people is ridiculous. So they can most definitely, I mean, honestly speaking, they're probably better than we was because you can honestly put anybody behind them and they probably get a touchdown. Just being honest. As an entire unit, they're most definitely better than we were in 2015.
I think you might be selling yourself short a little bit, but they're really good. They're special. You think that Mac Jones would be? You think that their dominance is really kind of the reason why Mac Jones is really able to show his arm talent and able to find guys down the field?
Oh, for sure. But I mean, a lot of people was on Mac Jones last year in the Auburn game. But if you really watch that game, you'll notice besides those 2 pick sixes, man's played a phenomenal game. I'm talking phenomenal. And so I think Matt can, even without that great of an offensive line, I think he'd still be able to make plays.
So that offensive line this year is insane. It's insane. I mean, like, it's insane. But I would say that having a quarterback like Mac Jones has made it even better. Because I think I personally think Mac Jones is the greatest quarterback in the history of Alabama football. I'm on record saying it. I'm going to go out on a limb right now. Not much of a limb. I'm going to just stand here and say it because I don't feel like it's going out on that big of a limb. That Mac Jones is the greatest quarterback that's ever played for Alabama.
Wow.
Well, it's me. It's the hot take central. I don't think it's that hot of a take. I think it's just a correct take. But Mac Jones, I take Mac Jones over Tua and Jalen.
Oh, I'm with you on that one. I've been saying for a while now that Mac Jones is better than Tua. I just don't think people are ready for that conversation.
They're not. They're
not. Because if you look at him play,
ukulele. There's no video of Mac singing. Doing the little ukulele thing in Locke's office.
Right.
they're not ready to have that conversation. I think we should have that conversation.
We should. Because, I mean, just simply based off decision making. Every big game we played with Tua at quarterback, he was guaranteed 2 interceptions a game. Guaranteed.
Wow.
Every big game.
Yeah.
And we were playing from behind afterwards. I've seen Mac make some questionable throws, but it was just more so it wasn't there, not trying to put the ball where the ball can't be put.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And that's the honest truth.
And Mac only had one receiver too. You got to remember, Mac only had Smitty because Waddle's been gone. Mac's been doing all this stuff with just one. You think Tua had? I mean, this is insane, right? On the same field.
No, you're selling Mechie short a little bit right there.
Okay, no offense to Mechie, but Mechie is not the player that Henry Ruggs and Jerry Jeudy
That's
and
fair.
Irv Smith were. I mean, like I love. They're great. They're very talented guys, but you add in Smith, Waddle, Jeudy, Ruggs, and Irv Smith, and that's. I mean, shoot, I'm pretty sure I could throw a slant to those guys and let them take it to the house. I'd like to try. I think I could do it. I'd be scared for my life with back with some of those SEC linebackers coming at me, but I try it.
This offensive line would keep you safe, Reagan.
This one, yes, absolutely. This one, I would like. I might I can take a nap in the pocket sometimes.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I could smoke a whole cigar before they let anybody get to me. This offensive line, it's amazing. So you played. You had some good O-line coaches. You had Stoutland, who went on to be for the Eagles, and then Mario Cristobal, who's at Oregon, and and Kyle Flood coming in. How much has that change made the offensive line? Because this offensive line looks as good as it's ever looked. How much of an impact has Kyle Flood had on this offensive line, do you think?
I'm sure it's dynamic, man, because each coach brings out different stuff in you, man. And I actually had 3 coaches the 5 years I was there. You forgot Brent Key. I had Brent Key.
I love Brent, and I love Brent.
Yeah. You forgot Key. And it's just every coach brings out something different in you, man. And like with Cristobal, I run through a brick wall.
Yeah.
And Stoutland and Key, they were more technical coaches. They could break it down and coach their asses off. But Mario, with me, to me anyway, was a big motivational guy. Like, I'd punch somebody's face in if he asked me to. And with this line playing the way that they have this season, man, I'm sure it's something about Flood that's get them motivated, has them ready to go every game. The game plan, they can understand it. Anything you throw at them, blitzes, no matter what it is, they can pick it up. Line games, they're picking it up. And so I'm sure his preparation is through the roof. And you can tell with their play, man.
What do you think of Cristobal reportedly turning down Auburn and getting an extension and raise at Oregon?
I don't blame him.
Nope.
I don't blame him.
I don't want to come to the state and coach against Saban. Nope.
Hey, man, he found his place out there. That's a good spot to be in. That's a good spot to be in.
Making money.
Man's probably get more clothes yearly.
Yeah.
Like, he could probably walk around in a new Oregon fit every day for 3 years.
Yep.
That would be the big selling point to me about Oregon would be like just the Nike contract.
All the shoes.
Yeah, all of the shoes, all of the Tiger Woods apparel. Like, I'm a big Tiger Woods. Like, I wish that they still made golf clubs. But, like, if I was getting Nike clubs and balls all the time, I mean, like, I could have – I mean, that'd be worth $500,000 a year to me just on the clothes, shoes, and golf equipment.
Easily.
I think he's got it set up there. So, all right, so you played with all these guys. You played for all these guys and had all these coaches. You had Mario Cristobal, Jeremy Pruitt, Napier, Kirby, name it. They were all there when you were there. Loxley was there. That's my guy. Love Lox. Out of all of them, and I would put Loxley in the same conversation. So out of all of them, when Nick retires, and he's going to retire, I'm sorry to the people listening. At some point, Nick's going to hang him up.
No.
There was a question today about whether Nick was going to retire. But so if you had your pick out of all of them, all the guys, former Bama assistant coaches, even Dabo, say Dabo would come.
No, Dabo's out of there. He's out of there.
Okay, he's out of there. Okay. But if you could pick any of them, you got Cristobal, Pruitt, Napier, Kirby, Locke. Who do you want to come and be after Nick?
Man, I'll take Lane.
Lane.
I'll take Lane. Just because Bama needs, they need something fresh, man. Like, they've been riding a traditional train for a long time. I don't know. I think Lane could come in and win. Getting the same recruits that we've been getting, he can most definitely make it happen.
So Lane. I would go Locks. Locks would be my guy. I want to see what he does up in Maryland, but Locks would be my guy. I think Locks would do the same thing that Lane does it and be less of a headache than Lane. You know.
But the headaches is what makes it all worth it, man. It's just like, what the hell are you doing, Lane? And boom, 60-yard touchdown. Flipping his damn clipboard in the air.
Yeah.
Hey,
what the hell are you doing, Lane? That's just don't worry about it. She's a soft. She told me she was 21.
Oh man, I'm gonna avoid that one.
Whew. Joey Freshwater, bring him back. That's what you're saying. Bring back Joey Freshwater.
Hey Joey, if you see this, I had nothing to do with that one.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. It's our podcast. Let's put it here. That's what it's here for. All right, so we got a big one this weekend. Okay, we got a big one. Alabama versus Florida. Probably one of the stupidest plays that I have ever seen last Saturday. How big of an ass chewing would you have gotten if you had chucked somebody's shoe on and gave them a fresh set of downs after they were about to punt? Like, would you be alive today if that had happened?
I don't know. You probably would have seen the next day, like, Alphonse Taylor has entered the transfer portal or some shit.
Yeah.
Like,
you might have entered the recently deceased portal.
Yes.
go ahead.
No, I told my friends, I said, if I was his coach, I would have run him till he died. I mean, that was absurd.
Well, my fat ass, that wouldn't have been a lot of running. So,
How bad would it be? Like, if that happened to you, if that happened to y'all, how bad would that be?
I don't know, man. I feel like, man, that literally cost them a football game.
And possibly a playoff appearance.
It really did. So that's most definitely like, yeah, you can't even travel anymore. You're on suspension type shit. Like, I don't see that going up well with anybody. Oh no, Cristobal might have throat chopped him or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was in the next play, and that's the thing that was wild. He was in the very next play, and then he said, "Oh, well, I don't think you hadn't meant anything by it." I mean, it's like so. Anyway, so that's who we're playing this weekend. What are you thinking about the game on Saturday?
Oh man, I think we're gonna go in and handle business. Florida, you can't. People can say what they want about our defense, but you're not finna attack us with one thing. You're not just gonna add the ball out and think you're gonna get anywhere with it. And on offense, we're bringing a balanced attack. Pick your poison. Who you want to whoop your ass any given play. We got to stop. If Florida happens to make it to the red zone, we just got to stop trash from throwing it to Pitts. That's his go-to guy, obviously. And I say we win by 3 tutties.
Solid.
3 tutties.
Yeah.
How many do you think Florida scores?
I give them 14.
14. Okay.
I give them 14.
So like 35-14.
I like that one.
Alabama's only scoring 35 points.
Nah, I'm just trying to respect the game, honestly.
No, there's no. You don't have to respect the game. No. No, I mean, like, I think Alabama can score 60.
Man, easily against that defense. Oh man, it'd be a 50-point plus if Saban allows it. You know he likes to go soft second half, fourth quarter.
I hate that. I just want him to run him out of the building.
I really wanted him to score 70 plus on LSU.
Yeah, same. I wanted him to score.
wanted that.
Yeah.
I wanted that.
Yeah.
I think everybody wanted that, especially after what they did last year.
All the videos. Yeah, roll
They could have.
you. Yeah.
They could have wheeled their grandmas out on the field, and I would have wanted the same result. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted a big number.
Oh, for sure.
What are you thinking about tomorrow or Saturday?
Saturday, I mean, I think we're gonna win pretty easily. I think it's gonna be about 52-17. I think that first drive, Florida's gonna they'll probably drive down and score, and you're gonna hear everybody on Twitter complaining about the defense and it's gonna be a long day, and they'll get over to the sidelines and adjust, and they'll lock Florida down the rest of the game probably. I don't think that
first drive overreaction on Twitter is
every
single time. Right? Like I remember the Ole Miss game. What was it? In 18, they threw the big bomb the first play, and everybody was like, "Oh, here we go again. We're gonna get run out of the building. These coaches didn't do anything all week long." That was the only touchdown. We beat them 62-7.
Yeah.
They gave up. What was it? Metcalf got a huge. Was it Metcalf? I think, I don't know.
Yeah, it was Metcalf.
Yeah, okay, the guy's doing it on Sundays. Are you that mad? That overreaction. You nailed it. The overreaction on Twitter.
Every time the first drive, people lose their mind. We should fire Pete Golding right now.
Yeah,
it's like, all right. It's a 60-minute game here, but I think that they're going to lock it down. I think they're going to take care of business. They're going to eliminate Florida, and we just got to come out healthy. That's my biggest thing. Is hopefully we come out healthy.
Yeah.
Come out healthy, and I think we're going to see Mac to Devontae Smith a bunch of times. Honestly.
I saw a post from a Florida Gator, Tease Tabor, who's been a healthy scratch, I think, his whole NFL career. He made an Instagram post. He said, "There's nobody I'd rather be locking down Devontae Smith." And I was sitting there saying, boy, there's nobody I'd rather be covering Devontae Smith than Marco Wilson too. Because I don't know if you guys watched the Bucs game when they played the Chiefs. Tyreek Hill went for like 300 yards on Carlton Davis in a half. Carlton Davis, from Auburn. And I got to tell you, if Marco Wilson throws on Smitty, I hope Sark just says, "Hey, Mac, if you see Marco Wilson covering Smitty, just tell Smitty to run a go route and just chuck it, and it'll be there every single time because there's no way that guy can cover."
They've been putting out a lot of bulletin board material this week. Did you see Dan Mullen earlier today?
Yeah.
They asked him at the SEC press conference, "Oh, do you think a 2-loss team should go to the playoff?" And he said, "Oh, we're going to worry about that after we win on Saturday." It's like, dude, you need to just calm it down because you're digging your own grave there.
Hey, man, if your coach don't believe in you, then who will?
I know, but you're not going to say that like that. Saban would never say that. We'll worry about that after we win on Saturday.
Hey, y'all have to watch Saban, though. Saban say a little shady shit in a subtle way, dog.
Yes.
It be the most subtle way, but it be shady as hell.
He's a big troll.
Oh, for sure.
A big troll.
Yeah,
he's a very, very big troll. And I love it. I'm here for it because I enjoy it. I love trolling. It's like this week, I was on the big troll.
Reagan.
They got so mad at me over this wing take, right? Like, these wings take because I like Buffalo Wild Wings.
I love Buffalo Wild Wings.
I'm telling you, they're great. They're great, right? There's a reason Buffalo Wild Wings is in every city in America, and there's a reason that your favorite wing joint in Tuscaloosa is only in Tuscaloosa. I'm sorry. That's the facts. That's the fact.
It's most definitely one of those deals everybody loves to hate. You know, it's just like, why? Is it the cool thing to do right now? Just like Arby's, man. What's everybody beef with Arby's? Why?
It's actually the beef. Beef is my beef with Arby's. You know, honestly, what ruined Arby's for me was Hope Solo. That was what ruined Arby's for me.
Was she a sponsor? Was she partnered with them?
You could say that. You could say that.
Okay.
There were some things Shank knows.
All right, roll tide.
He has the meat curtains. Yeah.
It's tough.
It looked very tough. It looked very tough. Not amazing at all, let me tell you. Oh yeah, if you know, you know. Don't Google Hope Solo Arby's. Like what you'll find. I wouldn't recommend that. Especially if you haven't eaten yet. Don't go. You know, don't eat and then look at it. You might throw up. So don't do it. It's like when remember like you're growing up and people will be like, "Oh my God, have you seen these blue waffles?" You know, you remember the blue waffle? Yeah, I remember.
Stop. You gotta stop it. Right? That's one of those things that was buried so deep in my mind that I never had to think of. Now, for the next 2 weeks, this is going to occasionally cross my mind.
You're welcome. Yeah, we don't like that.
That's tough.
So, all right. So Hugh Freeze today says he's very happy at Liberty. So all the stuff that you guys have been giving me, Joe, on the pregame show, Hugh Freeze, it looks like Auburn, he's out. I don't think he's going to Auburn.
Do you think he's going to go into Tennessee, though?
He's going to Tennessee. Tennessee's got a head coach.
For now.
They got a head coach. What, are they going to fire Pruitt for Butch Jones's mess?
I mean, we're kind of past Butch Jones's mess at this point.
Are we?
Yeah. When you ride with Garantano for 3 years in a row.
I was going to say that.
If you can't bring in another talented quarterback to replace him, then you get what you deserve at that point.
Or are they a quarterback away?
I mean, a quarterback would help. You give him Bryce Young. Even if Talia had transferred there last year, I think that probably would have helped him.
I don't think so. I mean, I like Talia. He's been doing great for locks up in Maryland, but I don't think he was the answer. And I'm not sure that Bryce Love is the answer. I mean, there were a lot of people all summer long, Bryce Love. And,
Bryce Love? Who's that?
Yeah, exactly. He comes in to protect the under. That's what he comes in for.
I'm pretty sure Bryce Love plays running back for the Redskins.
I'm pretty sure you're wrong.
You're right, for the football team.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like when Bryce Love comes into the Alabama football games, okay, he comes in, and it's like, okay, well, we must be within the under. Nick Saban's got money on he took the under again this week. That's what it is. Like, I'm sorry, but that's what it is. He comes in and he hands it off to, third, fourth string running backs, and maybe he completes a pass. Maybe he throws it in the dirt. I don't know. We'll find out on Saturday, hopefully.
I think he's going to get some playing time against Florida. But come on, he's a freshman. You got to let him. He's coming in mop-up duty. The game's over. What's the motivation level of everybody? What's the motivation level on defense? What's the motivation? I mean,
make their asses.
I don't know, man. When I used to come in and mop up duty, I used to try to knock some people's shit off.
Well, speaking from experience, there you go.
I mean, because, bro, it's just like you gotta put it. You gotta put it on film.
Yeah,
you gotta put it on film, and you'll be surprised how many people I practice with. Practice horrible, but come game day, bro, it's like they had a fucking light switch. No missed assignments. Knock a head off. All types of shit, man. So when you get that mop-up duty time, man, you got to put the work on film, dog. You got to let them see it.
So Boom Boom just texted me. Boom Boom's my dad. What do we call him? Boom Boom. He says, "Are you doing love on purpose?" Yes, I'm doing love on purpose. When he makes me respect him enough and hits the over, then we'll start calling him Bryce Young.
But he hit the over. What was that? The Kentucky game? Because you can't.
It's Kentucky. Come on, who cares? Who cares? Kentucky didn't even want to play. They were hoping that game got canceled so Alabama could play LSU. I mean, those guys. I love the Stoops. Right, great coach. I love him. I like Kentucky as much as most Alabama fans like Kentucky basketball, I guess. But they didn't want to be there. They were ready to go. They didn't want to play that game. They were like, okay, we're here because we got to collect a check. And I think, so yeah, put him in there. Yeah, of course he did. Let him do it against a real team. Let him do it against a real team. Let him do it against Florida in the SEC championship game. Hit the over. I'll start calling him Bryce Young. I don't think that's unfair. Is it being unfair? I don't think so. I don't think so.
I say the kid's young. The kid's young. He's going to grow into the position.
So would you rather have coming back next year, right? So everybody gets a free year of eligibility this year, right? So they get an extra, I guess, 6 year. Too bad for the guy at Clemson. He could have been there for another 8 years.
Renfro?
So yeah, he'd been here this year. He could have been there for another year. So would you rather have Mac Jones come back, or would you rather would you rather have Bryce Lung? How about that, Bryce Lung?
I like that. Mac Jones, easy.
Which one? Which one is it easy? Mac Jones.
Mac, easy.
Yeah,
Easily, for sure.
I mean, you already know what you have in him. You already see the production, and the production's like phenomenal. So you're going to give me that production again next year? Oh, sign me up.
Too bad we all dreamers right now. That man's out of here. Long gone.
I don't know, and that's what I don't get. I don't get what these NFL evaluators are seeing with Mac saying, "Oh, he's not a first-round guy." I mean, I'm old enough to remember Christian Ponder being a first-round pick, and I love Christian Ponder. The guy was brilliant and had a hell of a hot life. I mean, let's be real. Sam Ponder, she's hot. A Liberty alum, by the way. A Liberty alum. We're really proud of her. But, I mean, if Christian Ponder's the first round, Daniel Jones and Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones, man. Come on. Mac Jones isn't a first-round quarterback?
Right. If Cardale Jones can get drafted off 3 games, I think Mac Jones put an entire SEC season together the way he has is an easy first-rounder. Easy.
How many first-round picks do you think this team has right now?
Surtain, Najee Harris, Leatherwood, Mac Jones, Barmore, Dickerson is 6.
Evan Neal will be one day.
Yeah.
Neal will be a first-rounder one day.
Waddle. I mean, we doing just this year or total?
I mean, is this the most talented team that you've taken to?
Offensively, yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, clearly,
Yeah.
that 2012 defense, I don't will he ever have another one, or the 2009 or 12? Could go either way.
No, bro, you had Dante Hightower, like 260, running a 4.6 at linebacker.
Yeah.
You'll never see that again, ever. It was
And he had
freaky, man.
smoking Newports at halftime.
I love it.
And then going out and getting quarterbacks immediately right after. Ripping sticks in the locker room and then abusing quarterbacks.
I think I miss Ruben on kickoff more than anything.
Did you see the linebacker they got out of Texas who's like jacked? Kenny Blackshower.
Oh, you mean the grown man?
Yeah,
That
people
thing with the birth certificate? Yeah, I see him.
He looks 30.
Yeah, people are saying
At least 40.
Yeah, he looks old. Yeah, he looks old. Yeah, he looks real old. But hey, you know what? I'll take him.
For sure.
He was 30. Won a Heisman.
For sure. Hey.
Noted fan of the mansion, Chris Winkie. So, all right. So, Shank, all right. You've got you got all this stuff at Alabama. You had all these experiences. Like, what's your favorite like memory playing? That you have? Is it winning a Natty? Is it smoking cigars in the locker room after beating Tennessee? That would be my favorite. But is it like when you're like 50 and you got all the grandbabies and you're like, hey, come around, listen to Boom Boom talk about Alabama football. What's the like one story you're gonna tell that you like that's your favorite?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't know. Actually, it'll probably be Iron Bowl 2015. And that's just like a more personal story. It's like my grandma died the week of that game.
Oh man.
Yeah. And so like still played. It sucked. Oh my God, it sucked. That's probably the worst week of my life.
Yeah.
And that was actually probably the best game I ever played in college.
Really?
Was the Iron Bowl 2015. Yeah. That's the highest graded game I've ever played in. And 2 and 3 be most definitely Tennessee smoking cigars because, got the puff 5 big ones in a row.
Yep, from the mansion.
From the mansion, of course. And I still most definitely get those packs in each year. And we look forward to them, actually. I actually waited this year because, all right, so I have an adopted family, right?
Yeah.
And they just moved to South Carolina. And so he wasn't here for the Tennessee game. So we went up there for Thanksgiving and we actually smoked our cigars then.
Nice.
And so it's kind of become a tradition. I always smoke my cigar with him after we beat Tennessee.
Nice.
So that's dope. So that's a cool second. And most definitely third is the Natty.
Yeah. Because
that was most definitely a tough fought game. And people forget like half that defensive line went first round. They were legit.
It was a good one. And they had a really good defensive line that year too. That game was won in the trenches.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Oh, also probably due to the fact that they just decided not to cover O.J. Howard that game for some reason. I don't know. But.
Yeah. It was wild. They just left him out there.
You're just like, I don't care, throw it to him.
Yeah.
O.J. had like 3 40-plus yard catches that game. It's ridiculous. But most definitely Iron Bowl, beating Tennessee, 2015, Natty.
Nice.
And of course, I'll have all the rings to show. So that'll be dope.
Yeah. How many do you have? You have 2 hands?
In total, I got 9.
Okay. So you got.
Because I got Natty 2012, SEC Championship 13. Well, I got 4 SEC Championships, 2 Natties, and we got a few from the playoff wins. They give us like 2 rings apiece for the playoff win if you win the whole thing. So I think I got about 9 rings in all.
So you got them for every ring, every hand, and then you got your wedding ring. So you got every ring's covered.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Honestly, I don't even know where half those rings at right now. I gave them out to family as gifts, just like you. Yeah, man. Like you've been dope as hell all my life. Thanks for not abandoning me here. Like I didn't make it to the NFL or make it rich, but here, take this.
That's
cool. Work.
That's really cool. So Joe, you're doing the pregame. Are you at Pearl River this week?
Yeah, we'll be down at Pearl River again this week. You coming down, Reagan?
I don't know. All
right.
I'm waiting. I like there's some stuff with the wife.
I got
her family. They want to do Christmas, and so
gotta make the wife happy.
Like Pearl River, gambling, in-laws.
Make the wife happy. Just gotta make the wife happy.
Yeah. They say happy wife, happy life. I'm not sure.
But here's my thing on that. I mean, if you plan on being forever, right?
Yeah.
What's a little adversity? What's a little adversity? Let's stir the pot here. let's stir the pot here. What's a little adversity if we're in this thing forever, right?
He's giving me a death glare right now. We're actually in the middle of that adversity right now. But let's be real. Which would you rather do? Would you rather go to the ultimate gaming resort in the Southeast, Pearl River, or would you rather go to your in-laws' house? There's golf, there's a spa, there's casinos, there's really good restaurants, there's really nice hotel rooms, and then it's the in-laws.
I mean, there's a really obvious answer there, but I'm gonna cut the shit.
Obviously,
I'm gonna cut the shit because honestly, if my wife tell me to go somewhere, I'm gonna be there, and that's the end of the discussion. So, I'm just talking. That's all.
Yep. But we will be at Pearl River this week. Our show's at 2:00. Reagan, what time you want to join us?
Man, you know what? Liberty doesn't play this weekend, so there's no problem. I can join you whenever you would like.
Sounds good.
Show it's you and Jay Barker and Kerry Clark, right?
Sometimes Kerry will join us, and sometimes Jacob Harrison will join us. Kind of just depends on whose bodies are around.
So at Tide 100.9, you guys have like 4 J's, right? You got like all the J's. All of you guys are like J names. I've noticed this, except for the one guy that has an L name.
Shout out Fluff.
Rhymes with SARS.
Shout out Fluff.
Yeah, shout out Fluff. Yeah. The SARS guy. I mean, Lars. Excuse me, Lars, not SARS. Sorry, COVID got me going. But
yeah, we got a lot of J names. Yes, a lot of J names. Except
the L guy.
Yeah, you gotta give it up for Ryan in the afternoon though. Also.
Yeah, Fowler's great. Yeah, so you guys were asking me on the show Saturday, pick my favorite Tide 100.9 guy.
Who was that? That was Jacob.
Everybody wanted me to rank them, right? So you ranking them. That's tough. You guys are all great. Tide 100.9. It's such a great. If you're an Alabama fan and you're wanting to listen to pregame, do yourself a favor. Tune in 5 hours before the game to Joe's show here, the Alabama the Tide Tailgate.
Tide Tailgate. There you go.
Tide Tailgate show. You'll catch me, your favorite bar owner, on there, and former Alabama quarterback Jay Barker, and then some other cool guests. And they're at Pearl River this weekend. I want to go to Pearl River this weekend, but it might.
We're going to do the national championship there also.
Oh, man.
Because Alabama's going to make it. We'll do the national championship game there as well. Download that Tide 109 app. You can listen to us anywhere. If you're at the in-laws' house and away from your radio, you can listen to us there on that Tide 109 app. It's free. And then the best thing, you can listen to Eli Gold. Well, last week, Chris Stewart, but listen to Eli Gold call all the football games as well on that app.
Okay, I got just a couple more questions for you guys. This one is really important. I take this one very seriously. This is probably the biggest question you will ever get asked. Okay, and it's just such an important one because it just means so much to me and so many of our people watching this show. When you poop and you're finished, do you sit or do you stand?
Sit.
You sit. You're a sitter. Okay. Shank.
Same.
Sitters. Okay. Wow. Sitters are quitters.
What about you? Or
no, this is my show, so I don't have to answer that. I don't have to answer that.
All right.
I am the captain now. Yeah. On your show, you can ask me, and I'll answer. So maybe on Tide 100.9, that's what we talk about. I don't know.
There have been worse topics.
Yeah.
Bo Nick's parenting.
Can't relate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shank, you're a good father. Bo Nick's not a great father. Not everybody's created equal here. As far as dads go, Dad said, goes, I can't believe you went there. What? You're shocked that I asked them if they sat or if they stood. Really, come on. Have you not watched the show? I know he's watched the show before. It's become a hot topic of debate at the mansion, actually, where whether people sit or whether they stand. And it's actually about 50-50. You might be surprised that probably half the people that you run into actually stand when they play, or might be surprised that half of the people you run into sit. So it's kind of a debate when you're on the show. We want to know where we stand.
Or where we sit.
Yeah, where we sit. Yeah.
I mean, I don't really care as long as y'all ain't out here bare ass in public toilet seats.
Yeah. And it's not like using corn pops like they did, way back, out in outhouses and stuff. Like we have nice Charmin toilet paper that gets it clean. That's what's important, right?
I use dude wipes. I ain't gonna hold you.
So do we have so at the game tomorrow, the game Saturday, we got a big game. But who do you want to play in the playoff? You got a team that you'd rather play in the playoff?
BYU.
Well, okay, that's not going to happen. They can't drink. Okay, look, BYU, Mormons, really nice people. They can't have sweet tea, and they can't have the playoff. So so I'll give you a list out of Ohio State, Clemson, Notre Dame, and Texas A&M. Who do you want to play?
A&M easy.
Okay.
Ohio State.
Ohio State's who you want to play.
I want to play Ohio State, and then I want to play Clemson in the final.
Okay.
I'm going A&M, Ohio State. Because, A&M matchup purposes, I highly doubt we'll have problems with Kellen Mond. So there's that.
Oh, look at
And
the cat said I'm going to be on the cat says I'm going to be on the show. Yeah. I love cats, man. I love cats. Cats are like that. That's awesome.
nice.
Go ahead. So you're saying A&M and then
Ohio State for sure. Just because I'm still a little salty about that New Orleans L. So
okay, I got a hot take for you.
okay.
All right, here you go. Alabama wins the 2014 national championship if Jake Coker is the starter.
Well, who stopped Ezekiel Elliott?
It doesn't matter because Alabama needed to score points that game, not keep it close. And
Alabama wins if we feed Derrick Henry the ball more.
okay, well, there's that too. Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
And people forget he was still rocking that 27 then. He was in that 27.
I have the 27 jersey. I don't forget.
Nice.
Yeah,
But
I have that. It's a good jersey.
we feed him the ball more that game. Easily win.
Easily. Not just kind of win, but easily.
Easily.
I still say
Every time he touched the ball, it was a 6 to 15 yard pop. Every time.
okay. All right. Any other hot takes you want to get off your chest?
Ooh, let's see. I can't think right now. If they come back to me, I'll just request to be on the show again and write them down and get them all off.
No, we'll get you back on it, and we'll just have a segment dedicated to hot takes.
Nice.
Like, here's one: Christmas food is better than Thanksgiving food.
They're the same thing.
Yeah, that's
See, I don't have turkey on Christmas. That's my big thing. We do like a rib roast on Christmas.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
If we change it up on Christmas, though, it'll be gumbo. But gumbo is most definitely elite compared to Thanksgiving food. So.
Well, y'all are from like where they make gumbo real good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't get that up in Tuscaloosa because our restaurant scene in Tuscaloosa is kind of lacking. We have chains. It's sad.
I was like, I need to come. We need to open a spot.
There's a building right next door to me. I think it would make an amazing restaurant. Personally, I think it would make an amazing restaurant.
Right.
I don't have that kind of time to do a restaurant, but I think it would be really cool because it's like, it's an old house. It's actually older than the mansion. But it's huge, and I think it'd be great for like a steak place, like because we don't have, like you think about it, we don't have a steak place. I'm sorry, R. Davidson Chop House, you're not a steakhouse. Like your steaks are okay.
Chuck's don't have good steak.
Oh no! Oh, get out!
Well, we got a Chuck's in Mobile, and their steaks are really good. So,
well, the one here is not. The one here is not. Like it's every like when you ever ask anybody, hey, what do you like at Chuck's? The sushi. They like the sushi. That's it.
You know what's crazy? For the longest time, I didn't even know a Chuck's actual menu had on it because I used to only go on like official visit dinners.
Yeah.
And it was completely different from anything that would be on the regular menu. And so I went one evening and I'm like, y'all not have y'all not have rib roast on here? It's like, what is that?
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
They literally just served it here.
I worked at Chuck's for like 7 years, so.
Oh, sorry.
No, I mean it's fine. Everybody's got their own opinions, but you're right. Everything that they put on that buffet for those football recruitment dinners, we don't really do anything with it on the menu.
Yeah, I see that, and I was pissed because I went back, and when I was actually at Bama, went for a nice dinner, and it was like, we don't have any of that. It's like, well, what do I do now? It's like
the sushi. All right. So, big game. Final thoughts about Alabama and Alabama's football season. Basically 2020 football season as a whole.
No surprises offensively. We knew we were going to be really good there. Shout out Pete Golden. He's had a hell of a shake back year, a hell of a bounce back year. He got his guys back. Having Dylan Moses back has been a big help.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy, though? This defense is going to be good for a while now because a lot of young guys been getting reps since last year. And it's all just stacking up at this point. And so we'll be good. We'll be good. Next year is going to be interesting offensively, though. No Mac Jones, no Najee Harris. I mean, we know Robinson can go on there and do it, but as the lead guy, I guess we'll see.
Trey Sanders. You guys forgetting about Trey Sanders.
Wow. It's going to be interesting to see how he recovers from his accident.
Oh, yeah. The guy is healthy. I'll give you that.
I hope a full recovery for him, and if he has a full recovery, then he's got the talent to do it. But I have no insight to how his recovery is going.
Well, good news is they have the best doctors in the world.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So
shout out Dr. Andrews. I got rods in both my legs. My God.
They're about to have to. I think they're about to have to work on my back. Yeah, nothing on back problems. All right. Well, I'm gonna let you guys both go. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. I enjoyed the takes tonight. They were incredible. There were a lot of them. There's going to be a lot to unpack for the people that are watching. Their mind probably has been blown a few times. Hopefully, they've been blown a few times. And it's just been a great having both of you guys on, and we'll look forward to doing it. Joe, I will see you on Saturday. The wife gave the okay for us to go to Pearl River. Saturday.
Oh, nice.
I feel like that was wishful thinking, but I got the
text right here. Got the text right here. Hold on, let me read. We can go to Pearl River Saturday.
Wow, nice. What a loving wife.
And then Dad's
straight up.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all for coming on. We will catch you on the next one.
Sounds great, Ray.
All right.
Okay, now we are going to welcome.
I feel like that was wishful thinking, but
I got the text right here. We've got Boom Boom. We can go to Pearl River Saturday. So Boom Boom, you're gonna have to mute the TV because there's an echo coming back through what's going on, what's being said. So hit that mute on the TV. All right. So now we're going to walk over.
I feel like that was wishful thinking, but
I got the text right here. I got the text right here. Okay. Hang on. This isn't working for Boom Boom. We're having some technical issues, technical difficulties. But it's been a great show. We've had a great time.
He's telling me
Through what's going on, what's being said. So hit that mute on the TV. All right. This is Boom Boom. Boom Boom is big boomering.
He's boomering.
He's boomering again.
have a
It's not working
headset.
for Boom Boom. We're having some technical issues.
Doesn't have a headset.
But it's been a great show.
Great show.
We've had a great time.
He's telling me
Through what's going on, what's being said. So hit that. Well, Boom Boom can't come on. So sad. It's just your favorite bar owner now. So anyway, I hope everybody had a great time. I enjoyed it. I had a great time with myself, as I always have. Maybe Boom Boom fixed it.
doesn't have a headset.
He didn't fix it. That's sad. So anyway, we had a great time. I had a great time, as I always do when I'm with myself. And we had some amazing takes tonight. A lot of fun. The Nelms brothers. I mean, what a great brother. Great brothers. Fantastic interview. The FATMAN movie. If you haven't seen FATMAN, you need to go watch it. Do yourself a favor and watch FATMAN. It's the best. You won't regret the $7 that you spent on the rental. It's amazing. It's my favorite Christmas movie. And then great time with Shank and Joe Gaither. Great guys. Tons of football takes there. Lots to unpack with that one. But another great time with those two. And next time we'll have Boom Boom has his audio fixed. And wait, are you here? Can you hear me? Did you get it fixed? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a mild technical issue.
Yeah, Boom Boom, boomering.
I would no. It I use a Mac.
Technology's hard for people.
The Safari was left open when I switched over to Chrome for the technology constraints of our studio. So I'm joining from the Mansion Annex in Northport, where we watched the entirety of the Cigar Cast.
Yeah. So what'd you think? Did you enjoy the show?
I think it's the best show yet.
Yeah.
And
What'd you think of the Nelms brothers?
the Nelms brothers. I really was amazed at. I was amazed that they were as interested in you and your business as we are in them and their business, and I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah.
And
Hollywood people.
yeah, and I really want to watch their other movies now because I went and watched trailers for their other movies ahead of the show today, and they all look really good. The Waffle Street, I think, might be the next one. That's the one with Danny Glover. But I tell you what, that the crime movie looked really good, and Lost on Purpose, I think it was the other one. But FATMAN, number one on the Santa Claus movie list.
Yeah, FATMAN is the coup de grace for them. Yeah.
I hope everybody will go and you can. It's on sale now for like $9.99. You can buy it and then watch it every year instead of next year when you're looking for Christmas movies, and you could watch FATMAN and It's a Wonderful Life, and it'd be your Christmas film festival.
Yeah.
I can't imagine watching those movies back to back, but I might try it this.
Well, me and Devin, I just watched FATMAN again, and I thought it was great the second time around, and I really enjoyed it, and I thought they were a great interview. And then, former Alabama starter for their national championship, Shank Taylor.
He had some amazing takes.
Yeah. What was your favorite?
Well, you know what? I've forgotten about that was the run the damn ball complaint year. Like,
Yes.
last year everybody was on Pete Golding's case, wrongfully in our opinion. We love Pete Golding, and but that year I remember the complainers. You know, I think it became a T-shirt, "Run the damn ball," and it was that Alabama, you know, was able to dominate teams on the ground, and they didn't. And I agree that Coker, if I think they'd have won all the games anyway coming up to that point, but I think they'd have been better prepared if they had a more prolific passer going into the then Blake Sims had a great season and great year, and you know, good for him. But I think they probably had an opportunity to be a better team when they needed to be a better team.
Yeah.
But it would have taken them moving to Coker early in the season, and that's a really big case of hindsight. But running the ball versus passing the ball with the team they had, that one's a little tougher to understand at the moment.
Yeah. So you're over at the Annex, and I finished one of those. I had one of those brand new Pappy Van Winkle cigars.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Have you had that one yet?
No, I'm smoking a Padron 48.
Well, good to be you.
Yeah, it is good to be me.
Yeah, Boom Boom being big fancy, smoking a Padron 48. Boy, hide the wealth. Share some of that wealth. So anyway, we got some cool things going on at the mansion and at Northport. The liquor license is coming along, so we should have alcohol hopefully by the end of the year over at the Annex, I think.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. And I think we're about to bring back the almost bottomless golden hammers and maybe the bottomless flights. You know, almost bottomless, not quite bottomless, but almost, but
Not
quite, but not exactly, but basically.
Yeah.
You know, lots of still some things to get worked out there.
Yeah.
But Merry Christmas from R&R. It's Reagan and Boom Boom. If you haven't come and gotten Christmas cigars, you still got less than a week. Christmas
You can be like Mrs. Claus.
Yeah.
You can have what did Santa Claus want for Christmas?
He got cigars. He said thanks for the cigars.
Yes.
Yeah. So you got less than a week to come and load up those stockings with stuff from the mansion because Christmas is coming.
And boxes of cigars look beautiful wrapped under the Christmas tree.
Yeah. Christmas is coming and the FATMAN cometh. And thank you so much for listening to us ranting and raving and talking with all these people. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You can catch us on Spotify. You can catch us on Apple. Catch us on YouTube. Podcast Addict. If you don't follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, follow us there. And hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week with a special Christmas episode of Live from the Mansion, the R&R cast. We'll catch you next week.